Hi everyone, it's Rachel from Don't Crop Me Now. Today my task is going to be sorting out and planting this garlic. We've had a delivery of garlic to our allotment shop and I've bought some of these cloves for really quite a reasonable price. So what I'm going to do is to clear a bed and mulch the top with some of our homemade compost and get these cloves in. I'm going to start here with a few tips about the type of garlic to buy and how to prepare it for planting. Tip 1, I would recommend that you buy some garlic from a planting supplier. Now this can be quite expensive and we've been lucky in our ground that our allotment shop has bought some in wholesale at a much more reasonable price. However, if you just get garlic from the supermarket and you plant it, you may well have brilliant success. But those bulbs might be more adapted to growing in a much warmer and less wet climate than the UK, and they may well not do very well. So it's a bit like potatoes here. You're more likely to get consistent success if you buy bulbs that are for growing well in the UK climate. So what I've done here is I have taken apart the garlic cloves, and you can see here where we have got lots of these smaller cloves that tend to be at the middle. I'm not going to plant those. They may well grow, but they'll probably give you small bulbs. So for me, that's not really worth it. So as you can see, I've separated all those little ones out, the thin and small ones from the centre, and have got these larger cloves, and I'm going to concentrate on planting these. This is the bed that I'm going to plant the garlic in. So what I need to do is to clear out this lettuce that's gone to seed. I think I'll take out, maybe, I'm not sure actually, shall I take the sunflowers out or not? Probably depends on how much room I've got, because ideally I don't want to use another bed. This raised bed should have good drainage because the garlic needs to sit over winter. So I've cleared the area out. That's the second wheelbarrow full of the top growth that I've cut out. And you can see what our no-dig bed looks like underneath. I am going to add a quick, sort of probably an inch layer of mulch over that. And then I'll get on getting those garlic cloves in. So here's a barrel full of our homemade compost. So if we have a closer look at this. So we make our own compost from... It's a mixture of our chicken manure and chicken bedding, weeds off the plot, vegetable waste, shredded card and shredded paper. So as you can see, there's a few lumps in it, but it's looking pretty good. I tend to leave any of these larger twiggy bits in because that's good for the soil structure and they'll continue to break down anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. So what I would do now is just spread that wheelbarrow out over this area and see whether it is just enough to give a covering. So a few minutes later, that compost is spread over the bed. What I tend to do now is just sort of shuffle a little bit while walking over the surface, just to ensure that the compost has got good contact with the ground underneath. And this was one of the mistakes that I made when I first converted over to no dig, and it meant that your compost, which is nice and fluffy, can really dry out, particularly if you are mulching in the spring. This compost is pretty moist anyway. It's been a pile of compost that was probably made about 12 months ago and is sat over there really ready to be used. So it shouldn't be as bad because it's winter as well. But that's just a tip. It's something that I found that the top layer really dried out, but was because it didn't have enough contact with the soil. So I do anyway, walk on my no dig beds to ensure that I've got good contact before I plant anything. So I'm not sure on the video how clear that will be as a difference, but what I have done is I've just walked all over that surface to ensure we've got good contact. There was probably about an inch, half an inch to an inch really, I would say, of compost on that bed. So the purpose of the compost is to feed the soil life, and it's a soil life that's going to give you good fertility and good health in your plants. So you don't need to be putting lots and lots of compost on top of your no-dig beds. I certainly put a bit more on for my first setup as no-dig, but now that's pretty typical. So that was a wheelbarrow over this area, which is about 4 foot by 5.5, 6 foot, maybe even 7 foot. So it's a reasonable area. That was about a wheelbarrow full of compost. So I've used these bits of bamboo cane and some plant labels just to mark out where I'm going to get my rows in. So they're probably about 8 inches apart, I would say. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows I'm hoping to get into this section, and I'm going to plant them in a grid type manner. So here I've laid out how I'll plant the garlic cloves. So you can see, I'd say probably on there we're maybe about 5 to 6 inches apart on that side. That's probably about the closest that I would do. When I'm planting, well, most of my things really, I tend to plant with a dibber. I've got a few different dibbers. This is the smallest one. It's a nice one from Spear & Jackson, so it's a nice quality tool here with a nice metal tip. So what I would do is just use this to make a hole and put the clove into the ground. You should plant these at a depth of about 4 inches, 4-ish inches there. Then I'll get the clove. Make sure you put it in the right way round. That is the root end, so you want that to be on the bottom. So if you just drop that into your hole and then recover up, that's it. So what I would do is I would just fill the rest of this bed, and then it's a case of leaving these to sprout. I'll probably take those markers out once they're through, but that's just so I know where I've planted them. I've got 44 cloves left that didn't fit in that bed, and I've also got a load of saved elephant garlic balls that I grew last year that I'm also planning to plant. So what I'll need to do is I'll think about where I'm going to put this other garlic bed in, and at the moment I'll just put these cloves into the shed to store for a week or so. So I hope that I've shown you our method for growing garlic and maybe inspired you to have a go. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe. It will really help our channel, and it only takes a few minutes. Take care everyone. Bye.